Blind date. It is exactly 8:35 a.m. Monday, February 22, 1999. In 55 minutes, I am scheduled to meet a woman named Barbara. I feel calm about it, although I'm not sure why. Certainly not because I'm used to blind dates. I can remember only one in my entire life. That was 8 years ago and turned out to be love at first sight. We were together for 5 years. So I understand the potential seriousness of this morning's undertaking. At the same time, I know the odds are greatly against a repeat of 1991. I surely am receptive to the idea, given the frame of mind I have been in the past month and a half. Even more so since it was Celia who suggested that her friend Barbara and I should meet. I am thoroughly dazzled by Celia, perhaps because she is solidly married and thus safely unavailable. She told me during the class we have together that she was meeting a friend for lunch, then slyly added that the friend was single and might be receptive to meeting someone like me if I was at all interested. I was. So was Barbara, apparently, since she agreed to let our matchmaker deliver her name and phone number to me. A few days later, summoning my courage, I phoned her. She proved to be a relaxed, interesting conversationalist. 45 minutes passed easily and pleasantly. At the end, we agreed to meet for a walk on the beach this morning. How will I know you? I asked. I'm 5'3", short dark blonde hair, and I'll be wearing my black walking tights and a hat. What about you? Well, I'm 5'7", getting bald, wear glasses, and I'll be wearing grungy clothes and a white tennis hat. Shoot, I thought, with that description it wouldn't surprise me if she didn't even bother to show up. Oh well, better think that she expect the worst and find something a little better than the other way around. I've spent 15 minutes writing to this point. It's 8:50. I feel a little less calm than when I started. Am I too old for such foolishness? No. Remember what I told my son. If I must be an old man, better to be a foolish old man. It's more fun that way. That was an easy thing to write, I recall. Perhaps not quite so easy to live. We'll just have to see. I'm glad it has turned out to be such a gorgeous morning. Clear air, bright sun, blue sky. The walk won't be a total loss. I remember the way our conversation closed the other evening, after we had exchanged descriptions and set the meeting time. We agreed that after walking and talking, we might stop by at the East Beach Grill for an early lunch. I joked, right, might be a fun idea. Or, on the other hand, if we decide while we're walking that we really don't like each other, we can just not have lunch. It will be a clear, simple sayonara. My clock reads 9 o'clock. Time for me to head out. Takes about 30 minutes to get there. I wonder where I'll be having lunch today. One week later. The lunch menu at East Beach Grill turned out to be every bit as good as my expectations. So did Barbara. Our walk on Tuesday took us along the bike path towards the bird sanctuary. At that point we cut right, taking the road to the cemetery. We strolled through that beautiful area for an hour, stopping frequently to talk, admire the view of the ocean on this clear, bright blue day. Just as it had on the phone, our conversation flowed easily, sometimes bantering, sometimes serious. We enjoyed being together. Yesterday we met again. First we had lunch at the Scandi Buffet on Upper De La Vina Street. Barbara proved to be a hearty eater. I caught myself checking her trim waistline. "Exercise is the key," she explained, having intercepted my glance. "I swim at the pool 3 days a week and walk my dog at least twice a day. Long walks. I love keeping fit." Our next stop was the tennis courts at Oak Park. Neither of us had played for months. I because of gimpy knees, she due to tennis elbow. We were anxious to give it a try. We hit balls to each other for a while. I admired her fluid, experienced stroke, the graceful way she moved to the ball. It was obvious she was a competent player. When she suggested we play 3 or 4 games, I quickly agreed. Although I felt frustrated at being so out of practice, it was fun. She won 2 games, I won 2. A satisfying result. Driving back to her house, I knew she was someone I could become very interested in. As we stood in her driveway, my expression must have indicated as much. "You know, Ted, I have enjoyed walking and lunch and the tennis, but to be fair, I want you to understand that I'm not interested in a relationship. We can perhaps play tennis together, go for a walk, maybe lunch occasionally." I thanked her for being frank with me. I'm sure my disappointment was apparent. As I drove home, and later that evening, I felt depressed. I had let myself become hopeful too early about the possibility of a relationship with Barbara. This morning I suddenly realized how narrowly we sometimes let ourselves define a word. Relationship. I had felt unhappy because she wanted to limit our friendship to tennis, walking, maybe lunch. I was very disappointed that she had ruled out a relationship. "Wait a minute, you fool," I said to myself. "What are some things you love to do? Tennis, walking, lunch. What things have you enjoyed with her so far? Walking, tennis, lunch. Can't that be a relationship? Besides, don't you remember how hard it is to find a good tennis partner?" I rushed to the phone and left a message. When she called back, she sounded enthusiastic about a tennis game tomorrow. And I can hardly wait to tell my son about my new relationship. "Well," I'll say, "it's not really a full relationship. It's only physical."